All right, folks, it's Monday morning, so it's time to get back at it. We've got some more nominations out this morning, this time from the 26th Annual Critics' Choice Joke Awards. I'm kidding. Anyways, but yep, in usual fashion, a lot of the number of nominees in the categories and stuff are all over the board. None of them, I don't think, are... I just kind of read over them a couple times here, but I don't think any of them were just 5 this year, so that makes sense. It's hopefully a good thing. But anyways... we'll get into it here, starting with the general list for what's nominated. Then we'll discuss, okay, what's, we'll go category by category. We'll kind of say what's missing and who this helps, who this hurts, and stuff like that. Okay, so starting with the list of 10 films nominated for Best Picture. And then what's good is the Critics' Choice list here. I have just their official website pulled up. It does list how many films have multiple nominations and stuff, and how many they have, where they're nominated, stuff like that. Which is good, so we'll get to it. But basically, just spoiling that right away, Mank ended up with 12 nominations. That's 12 nominations that I count, by the way. There's a couple categories here, like Best Comedy Film, Best Action Movie, Best Younger Actress, stuff like that. I don't count as an official nomination here. Like, that will help you at the Oscars, because obviously those categories don't repeat. There is also an Ensemble category here. I do count that one, though, because we've got the equivalent at SAG, and it is just an overall sign of strength for the film. Where it's not, singled out in a different category. Like, Mank, there's not really any child actors in that. It's not a comedy. It's not an action movie. So obviously it not being there doesn't hurt it, and stuff like that. But that Ensemble, though, it does show, again, maybe a little bit more strength than a couple other of the competitors there. So, the 10 films up for Best Picture here at the Critics' Choice are Da 5 Bloods, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Mank, Minari, News of the World, Nomadland, One Night in Miami, Promising Young Woman, Sound of Metal, and Trial of the Chicago 7. So I kind of looked at that, and I'm like, okay, who's missing here? Because I have one different than the Oscar lineup. I don't have Sound of Metal in there as a possible nominee for Best Picture. It can still happen, but I don't. The way it's been performing at a lot of these a lot of the early precursors here, like the Globes and stuff, it's missing Paul Raci in both of those races. He got in today, obviously, with multiple slots, more than we're going to have at the Oscars. But really, Riz Ahmed's been the only sure bet for that film. Anyways, but the one that's missing here that I have in at the Oscars is The Father, and that missed the AFI list as well. The Father, it didn't do extraordinarily well here today. It didn't overperform. It didn't get like a director slot. It didn't get much more than like the bare basics, which is actor, supporting actress, screenplay, and editing. I don't know really at the Oscars other than Best Picture where else it could land, but still not a great sign there. A few other ones missing that have been in the discussion. Judas and the Black Messiah, and again, not a huge performance here today. It did get the SAG nomination for Daniel Kaluuya, which was a little surprising for me because it was such a late hitter. And then also got into the Globes and for supporting actor and song. It does have those two categories here, as well as I believe Ensemble, but we'll get to that one here. So, and they have 6 slots for Ensemble. So arguably maybe it was the 6th place vote at SAG, if not Mank, if not one of the others, but we'll see. Also, Soul is not nominated here. So I think for Soul, that makes it really tough for that one now to be that 9th or 10th slot for Best Picture. United States vs. Billie Holiday is also not on the list. Malcolm and Marie, a few of the other late hitters there like that are missing as well. So, Tenet is not on here. A couple of folks I think were a little more optimistic about that one, especially after Christopher Nolan made the long list for BAFTA. But that might just be a British thing, too. So, anyway, so that's the 10 there. I'm glad to see, News of the World is one I thought after missing. Obviously, it wasn't going to be a huge player at SAG for Ensemble. And then it wasn't going to be, I knew it wasn't probably likely to be a nominee at the Golden Globes. I knew it was, at least in the discussion, it was like that 7th or 8th pick. But, good to see it included here for picture. So that definitely keeps it in the discussion and should keep it above line for that for the Oscar race there for picture. For the director's race, we have 7 nominated directors today. That's I think they have it alphabetical just by the last name of the director, which is just fine. That's usually how I do it. Lee Isaac Chung got in for Minari, Emerald Fennell for Promising Young Woman, David Fincher for Mank, Spike Lee in this morning for Da 5 Bloods, Regina King for One Night in Miami, Aaron Sorkin for Trial of the Chicago 7, and Chloe Zhao for Nomadland. So I think in the director's race, more or less, these are the 7 we've got it down to, with Florian Zeller or Paul Greengrass being, a couple other ones, George C. Wolfe for Ma Rainey's, and, a couple other ones in there. Shaka King has kind of seen a little bit of an upstart after the great reviews of the film. But I think, yeah, if Judas and the Black Messiah was going to be a bigger player for Best Picture, Director, Screenplay, a few other categories, I think we would have seen it do a little bit better than it did here today. It's not in either of the screenplay categories. I'm not sure if it's... I think it's an adapted. I can see here. I think Gold Derby will help me here. Most of the time they have that right for which category it's in. I think just Promising Young Woman's the only head scratcher right now for me. I guess it's original, actually. I don't see it in the adapted list. Yep, it's in the original category this year. So, yeah, it's not not doing well for like screenplay and stuff. So, yeah, it's a late hitter, and like definitely without having seen a few of these, like I haven't seen Nomadland yet. I haven't quite got to One Night in Miami or Minari yet. But the other ones, it's like, yeah, as I discussed in one of the videos there, Emerald Fennell's direction is a standout in that movie. David Fincher, of course. Spike Lee, yep. And I think, yeah, Aaron Sorkin, that's one I took him out of the Oscar race just to put him back in last night. I'll have a video tomorrow where I'll go over my further Oscar discussions here and stuff. Because we'll have the short lists out tomorrow as well for like pretty much all the tech categories except for, I think, and I might be wrong about this, but like cinematography, art direction, stuff like that. So we'll have like the score, visual effects, the short categories, foreign language film or international film as it's known at the Oscars, stuff like that. We'll have a short list for. So we'll get into that tomorrow. But yeah, the direct rate, it's going to be tough because we got to whittle it down to 5 here at the Oscars, and it's like really. At this point, it feels like the only 2 sure bets are Fincher and Chloe Zhao. And then Aaron Sorkin now, really, he hasn't missed anywhere. And I feel like he'll get in at DGA. He'll get in very likely at BAFTA as well. So, really, I don't see him getting all those and then missing the Oscar. I'll get into it tomorrow because I have a couple theories about Regina King and a few of the other ones there. But, we'll discuss that a little later. Okay, for the acting category, starting with Best Actor, we have 8 nominees in this category. And the first one, this is again, you were at the Oscars hospice, for projected nomination. Now you're kind of back in the race. That's Ben Affleck for The Way Back. Riz Ahmed in for Sound of Metal. Chadwick Boseman for Ma Rainey's. Tom Hanks is in, another one from the hospice that's back in for News of the World. Anthony Hopkins for The Father. Delroy Lindo for Da 5 Bloods. Gary Oldman for Mank. And Stephen Yeun back in for Minari after getting in at SAG. So obviously, and then Delroy Lindo is also another one. He wasn't on hospice, compared to the other ones there. But yeah, definitely a good sign to see him finally nominated here at one of these competitive televised awards. Obviously, after missing SAG and Globe, it almost felt like he's at the end, but it's like I don't know. So the one that I have in right now at the Oscars is John David Washington, who's not on any of the lists here so far. So I'm really, really considering dropping him in favor of somebody else. But it's like, I don't know. It's like we've seen Stephen Yeun also now make SAG and Critics' Choice. He missed at the Globes. But Minari, I guess it wasn't their film because they only had it up for foreign language film there. I don't know about Delroy. I can see him missing BAFTA after this. This might be the one spot he shows up at. And then maybe he gets back into the Oscars depending on how Da 5 Bloods does. But it kind of feels like, okay, somebody like Kingsley Ben-Adir who's missed everything, yeah, that's probably not going to happen now. Tahar Rahim has the Globe, but nothing else so far. I can see him making the list at BAFTA with 6 nominees there, but it's tough for the Mauritanian, which got nothing here today as far as I looked there. I didn't see it up for anything. Yeah, and then, John David, he might get in if Malcolm and Marie overperforms on Oscar morning, but I'm not suspecting it right now, especially, we'll get to Best Actress here, but that's the only spot where Malcolm and Marie showed up. So, yeah, I don't know. I'll have to think about that one there for who I want to kick out if it's not John David Washington there. Okay, for Best Actress, we have 7 nominees here. Viola Davis for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Andra Day is back in for United States versus Billie Holiday. I had her in at SAG, and I missed her, but she is here today. Sydney Flanagan for Never, Rarely, Sometimes, Always. Vanessa Kirby for Pieces of a Woman. Frances McDormand for Nomadland. Carey Mulligan for Promising Young Woman. And Zendaya for Malcolm and Marie. So I have 5 of them getting in here at the Oscars. And I think the one who gets hurt here the most, I think... definitely for missing everything is Sophia Loren. I feel like that's probably done at the Oscars now. She might be that weird sixth pick at the BAFTAs, but I think there's going to be some more sexier picks, for films that actually could make it. But that one feels done. Amy Adams for Hillbilly Elegy got in at SAG. That was that fifth nominee, but Hillbilly just got makeup, and it got Glenn Close in here at Critics' Choice. That's about it. So, I don't think that one's done, but she'd have to get nominated at BAFTA to really remain in this race heavily. Worse, you have Michelle Pfeiffer and Kate Winslet. I feel like they're relatively done. I can see, because Ammonite was on so many of the long lists there at BAFTA, I can see her getting that sixth slot as well, and kicking out somebody like a Andra Day or possibly a Zendaya if they want to go with somebody else there. So, generally speaking, I think that's that category there. Cindy, I think it's good for her to get in, but I don't know. After missing everything else, I don't see her carrying on to way too many places after this. Okay, for supporting actor, we have 6 nominees here. We have Chadwick Boseman back in for Da 5 Bloods, Sacha Baron Cohen for Child of Chicago 7, Daniel Kaluuya for Judas and the Black Messiah, Bill Murray for On the Rocks, Leslie Odom Jr. for One Night in Miami, and Paul Raci finally getting in now for Sound of Metal. I feel like I think it's just going to be that way for supporting actor now for the Child of Chicago 7 and One Night in Miami. I think they're both just looking at one nominee. So I think Mark Rylance or some of the other ones there, they're probably not going to get in now. I mean, again, there's 6 slots at BAFTA, so they might go with like a Mark Rylance there. They might go somebody else, but I don't know. I think Sasha is probably the one to go there. He's probably the only one that's going to get in at this rate. Otherwise, Daniel Kaluuya definitely is really solid now. Leslie we knew, but Paul Raci getting in now. It depends how it does at the Oscars. If it gets just Riz Ahmed and sound and maybe one other category, then I can see Paul missing. He did miss Globe and SAG. Jared Leto, on the other hand, who got in at Globes and SAG, and I did see the little things over the weekend. We might talk about that one a little bit later there, but him missing today is that might have been a Globes and SAG thing. He's not on the list for BAFTA, so we know he's not going to get in there. And I don't know, because I saw just really quick talking about the movie. It was boring, and I didn't get into it hardly at all. Jared Leto, I thought his character was definitely out of a completely different movie, and he brought a different sense to the movie as soon as he's introduced. But other than that, it's like the procedural stuff with Denzel and Rami Malek was been there, done that. I mean, really, frankly, Rami Malek was terribly miscast in this film. I enjoyed him a lot in Bohemian Rhapsody. I haven't seen any of his other work as far as like Mr. Robot or anything, but it's like, wow. I mean, the same expression all the time. And I mean, he seriously, you almost could have flip-flopped him and Jared Leto. You almost could have had Rami Malek play the serial killer type character, and Jared Leto almost could have, if he'd cut his hair and stuff, almost could have come off as this kind of more sympathetic cop character that Rami Malek plays. But instead you got Rami who's, I have the same expression and voice through the whole movie. And it's like, there's one scene particularly toward the end where he is he's like, has like 1,000-yard stare, and he's just staring down his 2 daughters in a pool, and it's very uncomfortable to watch. It's supposed to be, with the score and everything behind it, it's supposed to be a really charming scene where it's like, okay, this guy has, this detective has been through a lot, and now he's more protective of his family, but it's like, no, somebody call 911 on that guy. It's like, he's gonna fucking kill him. It's like, it's terrible, awful, and so uncomfortable. Denzel, by the way, he acts circles around everybody else in the movie, other than Jared Leto when they're in the same scene. But John Lee Hancock, I didn't really like the Highwaymen film he did before this, the Bonnie and Clyde one with Kevin Costner and Woody Harrelson. But otherwise, the rest of his films I've liked. The Founder I really liked. Saving Mr. Banks I really liked. Blindside I generally like. It's not one that's really stuck with me through the years, but he's usually at least a dependable director, if not like an outstanding one. But this one, this was not good work, I don't think. I think what did I end up with that one? 4 out of 10? Yeah, because there's a couple good... Denzel has some good scenes, and Jared Leto, at least he's interesting. He's interesting in almost like a Tommy Wiseau type performance. But I don't know. I can see, maybe where a couple of these groups, if they got the screeners early before the buzz on the film was out, and maybe they were taken by the performance. But, in particular, I thought, no, I don't know. The score was fine by Thomas Newman. I always appreciate him, but even that, yeah, I don't know, I don't see that getting into score or anything, and it hasn't popped up anywhere yet except for on the long list at BAFTA. So I don't know. Anyways, so yeah, Stanley Tucci for Supernova now feels like that's probably done. I mean, he's on the long list for BAFTA, but I don't necessarily see him getting in over a few of the other folks here. David Strathairn for Nomadland, that feels kind of done. The supporting guys from Ma Rainey's not popping up anywhere, that feels done. Yeah, which, Fences kind of had the same struggles there when it's, your two top liners get in everywhere with Denzel and Viola last time, and now it's Viola and Chadwick, but yeah, I can see that repeating at the Oscars where it just gets the two leads. And then, yeah, Yahya Abdul-Mateen II for Trial of Chicago 7, and Frank Langella, and Eddie Redmayne, all them. Yeah, I feel like that's probably done as well. So yeah, that keeps Bill Murray in the discussion. He's close. I mean, getting the Globe, again, with On the Rocks, really projected to get a couple easy bids with the comedy categories there and it missing, but him still ending up in supporting actor, a more competitive, fluid category for On the Rocks, that shows, he's got a lot of support for it, even if he doesn't show up at SAG there. And he's missing on the BAFTA list as well, if I remember right. So, yeah, so he's not going to show up in either of those two slots. But yeah, he's going to be a question mark going into the Oscars. It's really if they've seen the film and if they, even if they blind see, if they just, like him enough to vote for him. But yeah, Sasha feels safe, Daniel Kaluuya is safe, and Leslie Odom is safe for sure. It's just those two slots. Again, I'm not really, personally, I'm not really down with the Chadwick Boseman nomination here. Number one, because I didn't think it was really outstanding work in Da 5 Bloods. Obviously, Ma Rainey's is where he hits his stride there. But also, I think, historically, getting two nominations is more hurtful than it is helpful. So he's got the two nominations at SAG. I can see him losing both, actually, if they go with Riz Ahmed or if they go with Anthony Hopkins there instead for Best Actor. And then they give like Da 5 Bloods Best Ensemble or something, then he would be recognized posthumously, of course. But yeah, and also he's in for Ma Rainey's Ensemble, so if that one happens to win, then he would be recognized there. So it's like there's almost, with him, being a 4-time nominee this year, it's like, I don't know, it's like there's plenty of ways to recognize him there. I mean, obviously, I still think he's going to win Best Actor, but it's like it kind of questions it. And the same thing here, where they can go somebody else like Daniel Kaluuya in supporting actor, and then lead actor again. They can go Anthony if he starts to take off, or Riz Ahmed if he starts to go on the rise there, or somebody else even. So yeah, obviously, the last time we saw a double nominee was last year with Scarlett Johansson. Some people thought Jojo Rabbit she might pull through for, but yeah, she ended up not getting either. I think, yeah, Jamie Foxx before that, obviously he won one of the bids, getting two nominations, but like Cate Blanchett got two nominations in 1 year and lost both. Sigourney Weaver in the 80s got two nominations in 1 year and lost both. Yeah, it's, it just tends not to help you very much if you actually get the double nod. Okay, moving on to supporting actress, though, we have really not the only ones who can get in, but it relatively feels like, with one exception, these are the ones it's going to come down to. 6 nominees here. Maria Bakalova for the Borat sequel, Ellen Burstyn for Pieces of a Woman, finally in, Glenn Close for Hillbilly Elegy, Olivia Colman for The Father, Amanda Seyfried bouncing back after the SAG miss for Mank, and Yoo Jun-yoon for Minari is in as well. So really, the only one who got into both SAG and Globe is Helena Zengel, who's missing here today. But and it's kind of strange because Tom Hanks gets in, but she doesn't. It's weird. Early on, why I put her in, I felt like we've seen that kind of trend going for a lot of these Tom Hanks films, like Captain Phillips. It's not him, but his co-star Barkhad Abdi who got in for Captain Phillips, and then with Bridge of Spies, it was Mark Rylance who got in. And there's one other example. Well, The Post, but that's Meryl Streep, but that's kind of a different one there. So yeah, I mean it. I kind of felt like that tendency would continue, especially after the 2 grabs there at SAG and Globes for Helena. I still think, yeah, she's on the long list there for BAFTA, so I think she can get one of the 6 slots there. But yeah, I feel like Glenn Close, Amanda Seyfried, Olivia Colman again are our 3 locks here so far. I don't really see any of them missing going forward. So it really comes down to, okay, is it Maria Bakalova now who feels really secure? I would say, yeah, I'd say now she feels a lot more solid. She definitely, this could be the one where Tiffany Haddish and a few of the other comedic supporting roles in the past few years have failed to kind of pick up steam. Maria has stayed with it all the way through. even though she's in the lead actress category for comedy musical at the Globes, she's gotten plenty of critics prizes to back her and stuff. So yeah, I can see her. Also, she's on the list at BAFTA, which really helps. So I think she's probably the fourth slot that we can say, okay, that's almost a sure bet. So now it becomes, okay, is it Ellen Burstyn who misses? Is it Yoo Jun-yeon? Or is it Helena Zengel who doesn't get in? Because that's 4 out of the 5. So, yeah, it'll come down to those. Jodie Foster not showing up here today hurts a little bit. I can see her making the list at BAFTA, though. Saoirse Ronan's another one. I feel like that one's probably done, though. And same goes with like a couple latecomers like Dominic Fishback and a few others there. But, yeah. Yeah, so that one, yeah, I feel like we're closer to that one, knowing who's in, but yeah, there's still some surprises left in that one, I think. For the original screenplay prize, we have 6 nominees here: Minari, Promising Young Woman, Mank, Never, Rarely, Sometimes, Always, Sound of Metal, and Trial of the Chicago 7. So I think Spike Lee is really the only one missing here for Da 5 Bloods. I have him getting in at the Oscars over like Sound of Metal. I have that one in over Soul. I have that one in over Judas and the Black Messiah. Yeah, Never, Rarely, Sometimes, Always. I think that would be, that would be kind of, I don't know. It's not really like the equivalent of like The Big Sick, because The Big Sick, even though it missed everything at the Globes that year, got in when it was an ensemble nominee and then also supporting actress nominee at SAG before, doing relatively about the same at Critics' Choice that year, as I recall. So, yeah, that one I can see. Yeah, it's just one of those slots, and it's like, okay, they just didn't want to give it to Spike again for Da 5 Bloods. He's got the director nomination, which is really good, but yeah, I think I'll stick with my 5 for now, which are Promising Young Woman. I put in there now. If I didn't say that before on one of the other videos, Minari, Da 5 Bloods, Mank, and Trial of Chicago 7. So, yeah, I'll probably stick with those. In the adapted category, we have News of the World, The Father, One Night in Miami, First Cow getting in, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, and Nomadland. And I think, if I'm correct here, yeah, everything except First Cow I have getting in at the Oscars. Obviously, again, there's only 5 slots. But, yeah, there's no, nothing like United States versus Billie Holiday on here. The Martanian is also an adapted screenplay. That's not making the list. The Borat sequel is not getting in for screenplay, I don't think. So, yeah, it really feels like, okay, News of the World is one. Even though it's not like the strongest screenplay, I feel like there's enough good moments in it where it can make the list, and plus it probably will have the pedigree of being a Best Picture nominee, so I think that'll help it there. Yeah, so it's like nothing really major missed here, so I think that's strong representation there. Okay, for the acting ensemble category, we have 6 nominees here: Da 5 Bloods, Judas and the Black Messiah, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Minari, One Night in Miami, and Trial of Chicago 7. So obviously, Judas and the Black Messiah is the one that didn't get in at SAG. The other 5 SAG ensemble nominees are here. So yeah, really the only one missing here that maybe could have landed was like Mank or possibly something like I'm trying to think here. What else could have been a nominee? I don't know. Hillbilly Elegy has quite a few people in it, but again, I didn't really expect that to do extraordinarily well here today. I think United States versus Billie Holiday seems to have a fairly decent sized cast there, so that one, A Promising Young Woman, missed at SAG. I put that one in last minute, dummy me, but yeah, that was one I could have seen potentially getting a nominee there in that category, but yeah, that's really I don't see way too many shocks here with that one. Okay, going into the tech categories now. For cinematography, we have 7 nominations here. First Cow, Mank, Minari, Nomadland, Da 5 Bloods, Tenet, and News of the World. So at the Oscars, I have Nomadland, Mank, Da 5 Bloods, Tenet, Minari. So correct me if I'm wrong, all 5 of those are here. Yeah, so then News of the World is one. It's a little higher up on the charts, and I'm not as big a fan of the cinematography of that one. It's, kind of too shaky for me at times. I mean, nice backgrounds. I mean, there's one particular shot where they were leaving in the morning or something that looks really nice, but all the blue hues and everything. Judas and the Black Messiah is one a few people talked about possibly kind of being a late breaker in this category, but yeah, not being on here doesn't help it. Ma Rainey's is not on here, so that doesn't help the case for that film. Malcolm and Marie, another one that's black and white cinematography, mostly indoor. I thought maybe they would go for it, a few weeks ago there, but yeah, that one has disappeared from the conversation. Plus, it's now rotten on Rotten Tomatoes. That's the one I'm going to see next, by the way, since it's on Netflix now. But Midnight Sky is one some people talked about. One Night in Miami, Trial of Chicago 7, a few of those. Yeah, those are kind of more hurt. So yeah, I think Tenet feels a little bit more solid now. This helps to Five Bloods. I think Nomadland, I think, was going to get in, and Mank was a pretty easy bet as well here. So yeah, nothing too major missing here. Let's see, next category they've got is production design. So that's Personal History of David Copperfield, News of the World, Tenet, Mank, Emma, and Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Now, I think Ma Rainey's is the one I have out front here. That one, I have that one in costume design going together. Mank, yeah, I feel like that's going to get in. I have News of the World getting in. I have Emma getting in. Mulan is the only one I have that didn't make the list here. Tenet, I mean, it's so contemporary setting. I don't see that one getting in. You know, Parasite got in last year for production design, but yeah, I don't know. I don't necessarily see Tenet getting in. Midnight Sky is one I thought might have been a bigger player here, but that's not here. Yeah, Personal History of David Copperfield, it would make sense. I mean, it is a period piece. United States versus Billie Holiday could still come back. One Night in Miami possibly could come back, though I think most of the discussion for the tech categories is it's really restricted to that original song category right now. I don't feel like editing or one of those categories is really coming through for that movie right now. Okay, speaking of editing, that's the next one on the list here. So we have Trial of Chicago 7, Mank, Tenet, The Father, Sound of Metal, and Nomadland being the nominees here. Let me go back up to my list here for editing. I've got Nomadland out front just as a placeholder for now. Mank, Trial of Chicago 7. The Father I have put in after... I haven't seen the film yet, but it's like that's one. It's like... I didn't really think about it much for editing at first because it seems like a really, plain editing piece. It's just, whatever's going on. But without, maybe mini spoiler here, but just what I've heard is like there's a couple ways where the editing is really utilized that helps the story, and it really leaves a big impact. So, after I heard that, I'm like, okay, I'll probably think about that one for editing then. So I had The Five Bloods being the other one, which didn't make the list here. But Tenet, it's possible. I think if it was a bigger player for picture and stuff, I think it would be a more sure bet. Sound of Metal, I can see that one making the list. I think that one's close. News of the World, I think, is close. And Promising Young Woman, I can see getting a few editing bids here. So possibly Minari, if that ends up being a bigger player for picture, if it gets its director in and stuff, I can see editing going along for the ride. Ma Rainey's, if it overperforms Oscar Morning and does a little bit better in these tech categories than we're expecting, then then that one can make the list. But there's some question marks left here in this editing category. It's going to be again another year where it's we're going to have to leave out some to get it down to 5. For the costume design category, we have 6 nominees here as well. We have Emma, Mulan, The Personal History of David Copperfield, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Promising Young Woman, and Mank. So I think I have at the Oscars here. Let me pull up the list. Yeah, Ma Rainey's out front, then Mank, Emma. I have Mulan again getting in there, and then United States versus Billie Holiday. So really Billie Holiday's another one that I think has a better chance here, but it's not on the list. News of the World, some people have getting in here. Yeah, it's kind of weird how it's missing from some of these categories here. It almost felt like after it got so many here early, it's like, okay, I thought that one would get a little bit more, but it's not. Again, really contemporary costumes with Promising Young Woman, so it hurts that one. I mean, I don't know. I mean, arguably the last contemporary costume nominee was La La Land. Even then, that had obviously the musical flair to it, so it felt like more period than it was. Personal History of David Copperfield is one I can see getting in. Ammonite I can see getting in for sure. Otherwise, I don't see way too many other surprises in that one. I don't know if Trial of Chicago 7 is necessarily a huge, costume piece by the same extent there. Okay, for let's see, I'm not seeing. Where's Best Sound? Don't they do a sound category? I guess not. I guess not this year. No, I'm not seeing it here. So skip that one. So where was I at now? Hair and makeup. 6 nominees here are Emma, Hillbilly Elegy, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Mank, Promising Young Woman, and United States versus Billie Holiday. Got to pull up my other list here to see what I have currently for that. See, I got to scroll down a little bit here. Ma Rainey's, Mank, I think, are the 2 front runners here. Hillbilly Elegy is also very likely. I have Mulan getting in, and then The Five Bloods being the last one. But I can be swayed by something like United States versus Billie Holiday. It seems like it's going to, kind of carry on from different time periods there. I'm going to add that to the list. Because this is not on Gold Derby yet. This is one we'll have a short list for tomorrow. So we'll see if one of these obvious ones, like Mank or something, misses. But at this rate, Mank led nominations at the Globe. It's leading nominations here at Critics' Choice. So I feel like it's, again, very likely to be most nominated at the Oscars as well, just because of all the tech categories I can get into. But yeah, I mean, I see it being like an Irishman from last year, where it gets all the nominations, but then it just comes up short everywhere. Let's see here. Then we don't have... Okay, I was going to say song and score, but no, we've got those. It's just further down the list here. Visual effects is the next one they have listed here. They have 7 in that one. Greyhound, Invisible Man, Mank, The Midnight Sky, Mulan, Tenet, and Wonder Woman 1984. So I think the only one really missing here is News of the World, which I can see coming back and getting an Oscar nomination. They like to go with a Best Picture nominee in that category usually. So that would help News of the World, but otherwise, Tenet otherwise would probably run away with that category. I don't have Mank getting in, but I think it's in contention. Midnight Sky, Greyhound, I think are a little more sure bets for that one. Tenet obviously being the other one. But yeah, Mulan I can see going all the way. Yeah, News of the World potentially. Wonder Woman possibly. The first Wonder Woman didn't grab any Oscar nominations, but this one's out later in the year and stuff, so might have a little bit of a turnaround. Invisible Man is one... I'd heard people talking about it for this category, but it seemed like, pretty basic stuff. Oh, okay, it's just, the guy's invisible. One of the, I think one of the Invisible Man movies back from like the 40s won for visual effects or something like that. So it's actually not unprecedented for this type of stuff to win, and even to get nominated. So that one I can see coming back, but it definitely has to make the short list tomorrow, and definitely a nomination from like the Visual Effects Guild for supporting effects would definitely say that one is going to be a more sure bet. Okay, they have 6 films up for foreign language film right now. That's Another Round, Collective, La Lorna, The Life Ahead, Minari, and Two of Us. So Two of Us is one. It's come up just about everywhere so far with Globes in this one. Minari will not be in contention there at the Oscars for this category. Life Ahead will not be. So probably just Another Round, and I think La Lorna was submitted, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. We'll find it out. Again, tomorrow we'll have the full list out for who can be nominated, so we'll go from there. Okay. Then we have the song category. 6 songs nominated here. Everybody Cries from The Outpost, which I haven't necessarily heard of. Fight for You for Judas and the Black Messiah. My Hometown, also known as Husavik, for the Eurovision Song Contest. That's the Will Ferrell one. Losi for it's called Scene, translated for The Life Ahead, but it's like, I don't know if it's IOC or Losi or how it's pronounced, but looks like if it's not a typo, it's IO and then C. I don't know. Whatever. The one for Life Ahead that Diane Warren did. Speak Now from One Night in Miami, and Tigress and Tweed, which was also a nominee at the Globes there for United States versus Billie Holiday. So, I think United States versus Billie Holiday, that song it's starting to look like the one from Harriet last year, where that's probably going to make it in everywhere. Speak Now is probably arguably the front runner. Fight for You, I can see that one going all the way now. And then, the Diane Warren one for sure for a song there. So, otherwise, I think at the Oscars here, the Prom one... missing out both places, that's probably done. I can see the 5th nominee, though, being that Turntables from All In, The Fight for Democracy, the documentary there. Definitely after an election year. That one probably benefits more than other years there. So, that's probably what I'm going with for now. And then for Best Score, we have 6 nominees here. We have The Midnight Sky, Tenet, News of the World, Minari, Mank, and Soul. So again, we see the double nod for Reznor and Ross. Probably gonna come through at the Oscars as well for those two. News of the World is a pretty sure bet. Tenet and then Midnight Sky. So it's really down to, okay, is Minari the last one, or is it possibly The Five Bloods? Is it Trial Chicago 7 maybe, or one of those other ones? But I don't know. Seems at this point, Mank and Soul are both going to get in. So that they might cancel out. They might go with Alexander Desplat again for Midnight Sky, or they might go Ludwig. This would be his second win for Tenet, or possibly James Newton Howard for News of the World. I mean, I believe this would be his first Oscar win, unless he did a song somewhere along the way that won. But yeah, and then we don't have animated feature, I don't think. When I look up animated feature, it's always like stuff from last year. So that must not be. Yeah, they might not have done that one this year, which is a little strange because we've still, the rest of the categories here for the different award shows, they've all been having that animated feature category and stuff. So that's kind of surprising that they don't do that. Anyways, okay, now I'm totally lost in this one. So I think we're back up here. Okay, so I was going to go down here because this was going to list how many multiple nominees and stuff here. But for whatever reason, when I typed in animated to try to search for it, it took me to like the very bottom of this lengthy page. But now it's in the middle of the TV stuff. So I'm getting there. But yeah, like I said, Mank led with 12 nominations there, which is, definitely, again, a good sign that it's going to continue to do well here. I can see it potentially being most nominated at BAFTA as well. It's a pretty sure bet that it's going to get in for PGA and DGA. Yeah, I don't necessarily WGA, as long as Jack Fincher was eligible there. I think that one should be that I can see it missing, but it's, I don't know. The strength of the film overall, I think, would probably be enough to still see it get in. But real quick, those nominations are Picture, Actor, Supporting Actress, Director, Screenplay, Cinematography, Production Design, Editing, Costume Design, Makeup, Visual Effects, and Score. Let's see, then we have, I believe Minari is the most nominated after that with 10. And again, not all these are going to carry over to the Oscars because we have like the foreign language nomination here, and it's also up for a younger actor nominee and also for acting ensemble. So otherwise, the ones it has here are Picture, Actor, Supporting Actress, Acting Ensemble, Director, Screenplay, Cinematography, and Score. And then Foreign Language. So that would really, it's more 9 nominations because I don't count the young actor one, so that's actually 9. But yeah, by my count. But still, yeah, I think Score it's still possible at the Oscars. Cinematography, I have getting in. Screenplay should be a more sure bet. Director, it'll be close. It could get in, but it's like it has to get in over Emerald Fennell or possibly somebody like a Regina King, but we'll see here. Let's see, I think the next one would be probably either Ma Rainey's or Trial of Chicago 7 for most nominations. We'll have to see here. I think Ma Rainey's beats it out. Yeah, I have Ma Rainey's has 8 listed here. So that would be, because again, I don't think any of these are discounted, though. I think it is all 8. Picture, Actor, Actress, Ensemble, Screenplay, Production Design, Costume Design, Hair and Makeup. Yeah, so that's all 8 there. Let's see. Then quite a few here have 6 nominees. Reported 6, so we'll see here. The Five Bloods has Picture, Actor, Supporting Actor, Ensemble, Director, Cinematography. Yeah, kind of weird. That one is not in for like visual effects here. It's not one of the ones listed for like score or a few of those other ones where I think it has a shot of getting in. Makeup possibly as well. Otherwise, that's still a solid performance from it here. News of the World would have 6 if you take out the younger actress nomination for Helena Zengel. So she did technically get nominated, but it's in a different category. So those 6 otherwise are Picture, Actor, Screenplay, Production Design, Score, and Cinematography. Nomadland has 6 with Picture, Actress, Director, Screenplay, Cinematography, Editing. That's probably where that one tops out at the Oscars. I don't really see it. It's not eligible for Score. Yeah, it's not really a design movie for like costumes or production design. Sound feels like it's really far off, so I don't think so. So yeah. Then we have 6 nominees for nominations for One Night in Miami: Picture, Supporting Actor, Ensemble, Director, Screenplay, and Song. Then we have Promising Young Woman down for 6. That's Picture, Actress, Director, Costume Design, Makeup, and Screenplay. And then further down here, because these are kind of alphabetical. Then we have Trial of Chicago 7, which has Picture, Supporting Actor, Ensemble. So let me do that again. That was a little weird. Picture, Supporting Actor, Ensemble, Director, Screenplay, and Editing. And again, that's probably close to where it tops out at the Oscars, unless it gets another Supporting Actor bid. But after, with so many slots here today and 6 at BAFTA, yeah, it's probably just going to stick with 1 there. All right, then we had is it just 1 here? No, a couple here with 5 nominations projected here. That's Picture, Sound of Metal next. Picture, Actor, Supporting Actor, Screenplay, Editing. Really, yeah, that would be overperforming if it gets all of those at the Oscars. Editing, I can see making it. The sound category is almost a definite for that film, and then actor Riz Ahmed is definitely solid. The other ones are a little bit more on shaky ground, but we'll see. Tenet has 5 with cinematography, production design, editing, visual effects, and score. So again, probably all below the line stuff for that one at the Oscars. And then I think The Father had 4, which I think we named off: actor, supporting actress, screenplay, and editing. Yeah, otherwise, I don't think any other films had 4 nominations. There were a few with 3, like Emma has costume design, production design, makeup. A few of them have 2, like Hillbilly Elegy has supporting actress and makeup. First Cow has a couple with screenplay and cinematography. Judas and the Black Messiah does have 3 with supporting actor, ensemble, and song. Let's see here. 2 for The Life Ahead with foreign language film and original song. Mulan has the costume design, visual effects. Never, Rarely, Sometimes, Always does have actress and original screenplay, so 2 there that I count. It's also in for one of the younger actor ones. On the Rocks really just has the 1 for Bill Murray. Yep, that's not too surprising there. 2 for Pieces of a Woman with both Ellen Burstyn and Vanessa Kirby. Soul, yeah, since there's no animated one, that just got the 1 nomination for score. Let's see here. Midnight Sky does get score and visual effects. It also, again, has a younger actor one, but I don't really count that. The 2 design categories for Personal History of David Copperfield. 3 nominations for United States vs. Billie Holiday, which has actress, makeup, and song. And I think that's it. Yep, that should be everything for the multiples there. Okay, so really quick, yeah, again, tradition, we'll go through, okay, who's out front just based on the nominations coming out fresh. For picture, I can see, because even though Critics' Prizes last year almost all went to like Parasite and stuff, they didn't pick Parasite for Best Picture. They went with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So I can see a more consensus pick like Trial of the Chicago 7 winning here. Potentially One Night in Miami. One thing, though, I did a little research here, because I have still One Night in Miami winning at the Oscars. We'll probably talk more about this tomorrow. But the fact that it didn't get one of those Globe nominations for picture drama was really like, okay, that was like a halt the brakes kind of deal. So I was like, okay, I'm kind of curious. Has this ever happened before? Have we had a Globe nominee, somebody who's not nominated for the picture categories at the Globes go on to win Best Picture? And it's happened 4 times, but 2 of those we can explain away. Parasite and Chariots of Fire were both in the foreign language category, their respective years. Obviously, Parasite, yeah, we knew last year that wasn't up for picture drama. But yeah, Chariots of Fire didn't get any nominations other than foreign language that year at the Globes, and that one actually won. The other 2, I mean, they're really far apart. It's like Crash, which was, kind of a latecomer in the Oscars that year, I believe. It still got a couple nominations at the Globes that year, but obviously was not quite on the heavy radar at that point. And then The Sting, believe it or not, which I actually just rewatched from Netflix here not that long ago. But The Sting was, even though it seemed like it would be huge player there at the Globes, it got screenplay and nothing else that year. It didn't get any actor comedy nominations for Redford or Paul Newman, nothing for director George Roy Hill, nothing for the score, even though it was technically adapted score, I think was what it was at the time, so makes sense. But yeah, nothing for picture comedy musical either. And I don't know, maybe they ran it in drama, but yeah, I don't know. But yeah, so it's only really 2 times where that's happened. So are we due for another one? I mean, it was such a large gap between those 2, between Crash and The Sting. That's like almost a full 30, more than 30 years. So it's like, damn, I don't know. Because it's only been like 16 years rather since Crash. It would be 15, the 2020 year and everything. So yeah, I mean that's half of what it was, less than half of what it was last time. So yeah, we'll talk more about that one next time. But I can see, there's a couple other consensus choices picks here possible. Yeah, I think really it comes down, Nomadland, One Night in Miami, Trial of Chicago 7 are probably the 3 it can come down to unless they want to go Ma Rainey's, but even then, I don't really sense it. Mank, again, I think it gets a boatload of nominations here, but I don't see it coming all the way through. Minari could be a consensus choice. I would probably put that one like 4th, but yeah, that's that one. For the director category, they'll probably just go Chloe Zhao. She's won virtually everything at all the Critics' Prizes and stuff. I can see her just getting on the train and winning everything this year. For actor, it probably is Chadwick, even though he has the double nomination here. But watch out for Riz Ahmed. His film is up for Best Picture, and it got screenplay and it got supporting actor. So there's support for that movie. So I can see maybe even a tie between him and Riz Ahmed at the Critics' Choice. They had a tie last year for director, for Bong Joon-ho and for Sam Mendes. So it's possible. For actress, we'll have to see, because I think Carey Mulligan has an opportunity this year to kind of, again, get on a train and just win everything. I mean, I have her winning at the Globes because Promising Young Woman is the only film other than Nomadland to have the picture nomination for drama. I believe that's correct. Because, Ma Rainey's isn't in for drama, United States for Billie Holiday is not, and Pieces of a Woman is not at the Globes. And they just gave it to Frances, and they didn't give it to her for Fargo or for all of her Kitteridge, the limited series. So it's like they don't overly love her at the Globes. So I can see Carey Mulligan almost easily winning that one. SAG, it's a toss-up between her. I can see them giving it to Viola, though. Viola Chadwick winning those two, I can see it happening. They gave it to the two actors, her and Denzel for Fences. So I can see that carrying over. If not, Carey's probably second place there. And then BAFTA, she is British, so I can see Carey winning there. So she can get on a track and just win everything this year. Otherwise, I like, or not like, but the theory out there that Viola and Frances are going to cancel each other out because they both won before. I can see that going through, and it leaves it up to, arguably, I would say for my case, Vanessa Kirby. I like her. I mean, I really do like Carey Mulligan in Promising Young Woman. That's such a great performance as well, but I like Vanessa Kirby maybe just a little bit more. Just my personal vote would be for her, but I mean, if there is enough vote splitting there between those three, between Viola, Frances, and Carey, then maybe Vanessa could win a couple of these. But no, I think it's probably Carey at this one. Supporting actor, it's probably coming down to Leslie Odom Jr. unless Daniel Kaluuya starts getting on a path here. I mean, he's again. Talking about the year of Get Out, everywhere he went, whenever he was announced as a nominee, or they right before they announced the winner, when they said listed him as a nominee, there was a big pop for him. So he's a very popular actor there. So it could be a Sam Rockwell situation where, arguably he won that year for being the most popular actor in his category. I mean, it was a great performance too, but over Willem Dafoe and Richard Jenkins and a few others that year. And then Sacha Baron Cohen, if he is the sole nominee for Trial of Chicago 7, again, that really helps his case, not having one of his co-stars canceling him out. So, I can see him potentially getting on a train here, especially, again, it's not looking likely at this point, but like at the Globes, I see somebody else winning supporting actor, probably Leslie Odom. But I can see him after that, since he doesn't have the lead actor Borat nomination at SAGs or Critics' Choice here, he could maybe get on a train and win here. And then plus, if Trial of Chicago 7, we have to remember too, there's that old adage of your Best Picture winner also takes an acting award, which hasn't always been true. Obviously, Parasite didn't even get a nomination last year. Green Book did take one. Moonlight took one. Spotlight didn't take anybody, but and neither did Birdman. But 12 Years a Slave did. The Artist did. King's Speech. We can go through there, but there's quite a few of them in the past there. So that could be an argument there. For the win for supporting actress, it was a tie between Glenn Close and Lady Gaga a couple years ago, and then actually Olivia Colman did win the comedy award for the little value it has for the favorite that year. So she also kind of technically won. This one, I don't know. I mean, I almost have a little bit of a feeling that Maria Bakalova could win this one. Obviously, she's won a lot of critics' prizes. But unless we see either Olivia or Glenn really start to establish themselves as an Oscar frontrunner, or Amanda Seyfried or somebody else there, but even Amanda missing the SAG, that really hurts. Yoo Jun-yun, possible. I mean, in all honesty, I think almost everybody but Ellen Burstyn has a chance here. That's kind of up in the air, but for now, even The Irishman got something at Critics' Choice last year, so I'm going to go Amanda Seyfried for now. Let's see, for the ensemble category, we'll get to the screenplays here next. That one's tight. Probably Chicago 7 or One Night in Miami, I can probably see, especially if they want to give either Viola or Chadwick a win for Ma Rainey's. Minari could come through, though. That could be a surprise winner. let's see, for the screenplay categories, original screenplay probably comes down to Trial of Chicago 7 or... Yeah, probably Chicago 7, yeah. Adapted screenplay. I don't know. One Night in Miami is my front runner right now, but Nomadland is a possible winner. The Father's a possible winner. I can see The Father coming back and winning here. And then, yeah, I think it's probably The Father or One Night in Miami or Nomadland, one of those three. Real quick in the tech categories here, cinematography. My early bid here is for Nomadland, but I can see this one going to a couple other ones there potentially. I'd probably pick Nomadland for now, but like Minari could come back and win here. Mank possibly at Critics' Choice. We'll stick with those. For the production design category, they could go Rainey's here. Otherwise, Mank or Emma could be a possible pick as well. Editing, Trial of Chicago 7, that's one. Nomadland I can see winning. If Sound of Metal has enough votes behind it, I can see that one coming through and winning. So, probably one of those three. Costume design, I think Ma Rainey's has a more solid chance here of winning that one. Makeup and hairstyling, Mank, Ma Rainey's, Hillbilly Elegy are really the three it probably comes down to, so one of those. Visual effects, Tenet is probably your front runner, but again, I can see something like Midnight Sky winning. I can see something like even Invisible Man, again, if it has the support, coming back and winning that one. Foreign language film, Minari has the picture nomination, so like Parasite, that probably comes through. Song, probably, Speak Now from One Night in Miami, and score. I don't know, it's like we could see Reznor and Ross cancel each other out for Soul and Mank, which would leave it open for, like we mentioned here, Alexander Desplat or Ludwig for Tenet, or even James Newton Howard for News of the World. So that one's kind of open. So we'll, I don't know. For now, I would probably pick Soul, but we'll have to see what happens at the Globes. See if these the two cancel each other out. All right. So like I said, we'll have our short lists out tomorrow for a few categories. I don't know, do they have like a master list for what's coming out? But it's usually the Oscar short lists 2021. See if I can find, let's see here. I think this is just an article for, they're going to have 15, most of these will be 10 tomorrow, I think, but 15 international feature contenders there. They'll whittle it down. I believe it should still be 5. I would think. Okay, let's see here. This one. I think this will have the list here, but okay, 15 in score, song, and then international. 10 for makeup and visual effects, and I think maybe that's it. Yeah, it looks like that's really about it. So, and then I believe they'll get the short list also for like those short categories as well, like animated short, stuff like that. So so we should see more than just those 4. But those are the 4 like more discussed categories. I think that we'll see the lists out for. But Yep. So there's there'll be a little less mystery around some of those categories here when we get to the short list. There, we'll kind of see where they're heading and which films they like, and which ones we see the early signs of them not liking. So we'll discuss that, and then once those lists are out and I just kind of go over them and stuff, I will go ahead. Once they're out, I'll kind of look at everything, update my predictions. Then we'll go into as many categories as I can there for who I think is going to get in. So. Again, the short categories so far, I haven't heard a lot of discussion on them. International feature, other than, another round and 2 of us, which I believe 2 of us was also submitted. Other than that, it's the rest of them like Minari and Life Ahead have not been submitted for the Oscar shortlist. So leaves it a little more open there for the 5 that are going to get the Oscars. So that's what I have for now. So. Critics' Choice hands out their prizes, I believe it's March, the first weekend in March, so got a little bit of time before those come out, but otherwise, I probably won't discuss much more about them, because again, who cares? Alright, so we'll be back tomorrow, we'll get the short lists out of the way.